Manx Radio's Countryside is brought to you by NFU Mutual.
Hello and welcome to the new series of Countryside here on Manx Radio. I'm Simon Clarke.
And I'm Kirree Kermode. At the weekend, on a very blustery Saturday, I popped down to the Southern Young Farmers Ploughman match held at Strandhold Farm on Gansey.
And I took a trip to Peel Cathedral for the opening day of the Manx Nature Show. First of all, Kirree, welcome back to the new series, to yourself and our listeners. Hopefully over this next 6 weeks or so, at the end of it, we'll be venturing and getting bits of the Young Farmers concert, I would imagine, at the end of it. But on the farms, busy time. I was talking to Brian Radcliffe, who we'll hear from on next week's programme. But lambing, a lot of people started the lambing.
In particular, up north by you, Simon, there's many farmers well underway with the early spring lambs, and they're growing like bumbies by the look of them there. There's plenty of grass on the north, so doing really, really well. And some of the pedigree farmers are underway with the Suffolks and Texels and a few Charolais around the countryside, and they're more indoor looked after. But March will see us underway with the normal crossbred sheep flocks around the island, so look out for them in the countryside. They'll be frolicking about in the daffodils in no time, I suppose.
Yes, daffodils are out round us, but I mean, is there much gossip around? Obviously, you're more in the know of the farming world than myself, so much people worrying about it. The budget will be coming up soon as well.
This is it. It's always worrying times with outlets for farmers, for markets and what's trending and what's not trending. But at the minute, the farmers are in winter routine. They're keeping the stock well fed and looking forward to an early turnout for spring. Housing them through the winter time is expensive. Crops that were planted and bought by farmers were expensive. Fertiliser has come down in price a little bit. They're saying energy costs will come down in July in 2023, so who knows. But still, input costs are a worry, and farmers are making good and saving where they can. But stock is looking well at the minute, and it's certainly making people a lot more business focused on what they're going to keep for the year ahead and making plans for the crops they're going to plant too. Yes,
there's always a sort of set thing to it, but when you can do it is always the vital thing, isn't it?
Yeah, this is it. The weather at the minute, with it being awfully dry through February, and we'll hear from some of the fellas at the ploughing, the ground is ready for turning over to get the spring crops planted. But, it is the cost. The price of diesel has gone up, so to turn the soil over with big heavy machinery, it will cost more. Planting seeds, the fertiliser to grow the seeds, it will be expensive. So it is always these questions at the back of our minds: what's going to work and what's not, and whether the farming methods change or diversify even.
Yeah, because one of the worries, I suppose, as well will be with the Ramsey Bakery gone and Laxey flour. I mean, the wheat growers that have been so prevalent on the island over the last decades or so, they may have to rethink what they're up to.
It is such a shame. It really is. An island like ours needs to have food security and be looking after what our growers and producers do produce here on the island. It is a crying shame what's going on with the wheat, and hopefully with DEFA and the farmers, they can come to some arrangement where this can continue and we can have a vibrant agriculture. At the minute, there's awful negativity, but we need a boost of confidence. We need a lot of support and a lot of drive forward and look into the future. What's gone on with Ramsey Bakery is such a shame, but we need to find what's good for the future and move on.
Indeed. Well, one event which has just got underway is an exhibition at the Peel Cathedral. It's going to be opening every day for the next 3 months or so. It's called the Manx Nature Show. We'll be finding out more about it in a second or two, but one of the brainwaves behind it was Jen Adams from the Manx Whale and Dolphin Watch.
So this is the Manx Nature Show that we're at today. So today is the opening day, but actually it's an exhibition which will run for 3 months. And basically it's just a gathering of all of the local environmental groups. So there's 22 groups involved, and they've each been given display space within Cathedral Isle of Man in Peel, so people can come around and learn about the different environmental groups and who they are and what they do, how to get involved and pick up a leaflet.
How did this all get started? How did it come about? Because obviously you're involved with the Manx Whale and Dolphin Watch, which is based in Peel.
Yes, so it was actually Cathedral Isle of Man that approached us, just us being a local charity with a presence on Michael Street in Peel. And they said that we want to do more for the environment within the cathedral and the gardens. Do you have any ideas? And we sat down and came up with this concept, which kind of developed over the months, really.
Has it took a lot of planning, or well, when you say there's 20 odd groups involved, I mean they must have been all. How keen were they to get involved? Very.
Oh, everyone's been really keen, actually. Yeah, it's the first time that something like this has really happened, where all the environmental groups have got together for such a long period of time as well, and really the idea behind it is to showcase not only the environmental groups, but what they do and how people can kind of find out about maybe the lesser known groups.
Because some people think of the environmental thing now, it's just global warming, but there's a lot more to it than that, isn't there?
Absolutely, and there's so much wildlife just on our very own doorstep, and another idea behind the Manx Nature Show is to make nature accessible for everyone. No matter what you do and what your lifestyle is like, there are those things on your doorstep.
The specific thing that I like about it is the Isle of Man. It's renowned across the world, isn't it, for the waters around the Isle of Man coasts and the interest in hedgehogs. There's a massive range from large species to small.
Absolutely, and there's a lot of things that maybe people don't think of, or perhaps that people are afraid of. So, for example, there's a spider group here called 8 Legs of Man, and there's the dragonfly and damselfly group. There's us who take care of the whales and dolphins. There's the Wildlife Trust. There's so many different things here.
And what about the workshops? I'm looking at a list of different weeks, because you've got 3 months of this exhibition, and it's not just the weekends.
No, so the great thing about this taking place at the cathedral is that it's open 7 days a week from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. So anyone can drop in here whenever they want, just being sort of mindful of church service times. And they can look at the boards and they can take part in one of the many workshops. We've got loads of workshops already that are all online for you to view. And they range from things like bug hunting to a bat walk, bird songs and learning about birds' nests and loads of different things. And these workshops will all be taking place around the cathedral gardens or inside the cathedral, or using the cathedral as a starting point to then go out and do a nature walk. And
the great thing as well about it is you can come in, there's tea and coffee here today, obviously, but there's colouring books for the children, and so there's something for young and old. If the kids get a little bit bored, the folks can go around and have a look at something while they're colouring in some of the some of the pictures that you've got ready at hand.
Yes, there's plenty of children's activities which will be here continually throughout the show. There's a quiz that you can do that takes you around the gardens and also the inside of the cathedral. There's an activity to make a pledge for nature, which is really nice, and lots of colouring and quizzes. And you can always help yourself to refreshments inside the cathedral, just for a donation to the cathedral.
So it's finally here now. You can chill out at the end of today, but I bet you it's been an exciting day with lots of people coming in and out.
Yes, we've had almost 200 people through the doors today, and everyone's been so positive about it. And especially the groups that have taken part, I think they've really appreciated having this opportunity to get together and showcase their work and to talk to people about what they do.
What about people who are interested in coming now on the workshops? I think you've set up a special website.
We have set up a website. You can just find it online by just typing in the Manx Nature Show into a search engine, and it will come up. There's various links where you can find it. So www.manxnatureshow.weebly.com. Now Weebly is spelt WEEBLY, so weebly.com. Another thing that we've got for you to look at is our exhibition of natural curiosities. So these are things mainly from the Manx Museum that they've very kindly loaned to us for the next 3 months. And it's things like there's a hare skeleton, there's a little frog skeleton.
I could do with that.
There's a megalodon tooth which the kids absolutely love because children are fascinated by the extinct megalodon, and loads of just interesting things for you to look at and to read about as well.
And you can get finally more details on social media as well?
Yes, so I've set up a Facebook page. So on Facebook, just type in Manx Nature Show, and that's the Facebook handle there. So that will have all of the workshops listed on there too.
Jen Adams from the Manx Whale and Dolphin Watch telling us all about the Manx Nature Show that is being held at the Peel Cathedral for the next 3 months. And loads of the workshops, the people that are being involved with it, the Isle of Man Woodland Trust, the Isle of Man Beekeepers Federation, the Isle of Man Fungus Group as well, so you'll be able to get your toes sorted, Kirree, with that one. Also, the Eight Legs of Man Beach Buddies will be there, Manx Bird Life and the Manx Bat Group, and there'll be various workshops across the weekends. There may not be people there all the time, but you'll be able to go into the cathedral and just have a walk around, and all the information is there, plus some artefacts from the Manx Museum that are on show for the first time as well.
Isn't it really wonderful? All this at our fingertips, all the nature that goes on in the Isle of Man, all under one roof. But it's so important that we do get that balance, that we get it right and help where we can. Our countryside is very beautiful, isn't it? And organisations like that helping give the knowledge to the general public or young children, and so we can preserve it and look after it for the future.
Indeed. You're listening to Countryside here on Manx Radio with Kirree Kermode and myself, Simon Clarke. Well, a massive part of the agricultural world on the arable side of things obviously is the ploughing, and we get quite a bit of it on the programme to do with the ploughing competitions that still go ahead and the various ways that the ploughing of the Isle of Man fields have evolved, from the horses right through to the massive tractors and ploughs that they have today. And you were lucky enough, even though it's February, but I think it's one of the last ones of the season, is it?
It is indeed, yeah. So they've been running since October. The competitions, I think they have 8 in total. And it was really, really such a great turnout on such a blustery day, but it was dry. So I popped down to the Southern Young Farmers Ploughing Match held at Strand Hall Farm on the Gansey Road there. And firstly, I caught up with Nicola Rawnsley and the heavy horses. Now, it's a couple of years since I've seen you, Nicola, with the horses and the ploughing. Now, this looks very good job done today down at Strand Hall here.
Yeah, it's not bad going. It's breaking up a little bit, but, you know, that's probably because we're sandy soil and it's been quite dry recently.
It really has. February has been exceptionally dry, and I suppose these big beasts have probably been enjoying it and living outside.
Yes, they live out 24/7. I've actually managed to drop a bit of weight off some of my rather rotund horses at times, but yeah, so...
But they do need that strength though, don't they, to
Yes,
do
they
the
do.
horse ploughing, because this is an age-old art and it's lovely to see that you're still carrying it on.
Yes, yeah, unfortunately there's only me ploughing at the moment, so... But it's, you know, it's an expensive hobby.
Oh, I could
And
imagine.
hopefully somebody will come along, and I'm hoping to get to the British Nationals again later this year, so...
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
So something to aim for, isn't it?
Yeah, that'll be down, where is it, Somerset this year,
Oh, nice. That will
side
be
of
good.
country.
Ah. Yeah, so after a hard day's ploughing, there's definitely reward.
Oh, yeah, I think there'll be a pint or two after, yeah. Not too many though, but
No.
yeah.
So that said, how's the season been going for you?
It's been going okay. I've done okay. I actually won the Cronknavody match outright this year, so yeah,
Delighted.
it's been okay.
They're not your normal horses that you'd see around the countryside.
No, the one we've got here with the white mane, she's a Comtois, which is a French breed, and I think there's only 2 on the island, and I have both of them. And Duke here, the darker coloured one we use, he's a Clydesdale cross. So one of his parents was actually a great big heavy horse, and he came out shrunk in the wash, as I call him. 'Cause his full brother was 16 hands high, he's only 14.2.
Well, but he's perfect for this job.
He is, he's never let us down. He's getting a bit old now, he's getting a bit grumpy at times.
But once upon a time, Nicola, the horses were used for ploughing through the season,
Yeah.
and this was the job. And you talk about tractors now, and they're measured in horsepower. So this is where obviously it originated
Yes,
from.
it is, yeah, these horses, they'd have ploughed an acre a day when they were,
some
you know,
going,
it's
isn't it?
I've done half an acre. That was exhausting.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we did plough an acre and it took us weeks
Oh.
because we had to do it after work. And
Oh, yeah, this
so,
is it.
but it was enjoyable, and I ploughed the headlands, which is something you don't do at a match.
Yeah, yeah.
So going round corners was a bit, I'm not used to this. But yeah, it's you know, everything was done with horses, haymaking, bringing the hay in, harrowing, sowing.
The whole lot.
Yeah.
Well, Emma Farragher, you're here down the south of the island, all the way from the north.
All but lost, Kirree.
How are you getting on today, Emma?
We're actually doing really well today. We've just got the clash left to do and then dinner time, so
It
doing
looks
all
well.
right. It does, yeah. We've done well today. Nice job.
How did you get involved? It's not often you see a lady driving the tractors.
I know, I wanted to plough for years when I was younger, and it was just finding somebody willing to take, obviously, a young girl to do it, because it's more of a boy's job, isn't it?
Yeah, this is it.
I wanted to do it, and Billy and Vera came and said, you know, well, I think they were after Glenn, really. And Glenn didn't want to, so I said, well, I'll have a go. I want to do it. And 16 years later, Ronnie's still putting up with me on a Saturday.
How's she been doing today, Ronnie?
I think she's doing very well today. Yes, she is. Considering the ground is very breaky.
I see.
I think we could have done with a bit more rain on it.
Oh, never. It
Normally
has been a
we-
dry month, though, hasn't it?
It has been dry, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, normally the ground is good to hold, but down here today it's dry up on the bank. Like,
Yeah.
never mind.
And
Same for everybody.
this is it. But does the soil differ between the matches?
Oh, definitely. Oh, aye. And then it gets worse. The soil is gradually getting worse as we're getting older.
Really?
Oh, they're ploughing too deep now and fetching all subsoil up and stones. Never used to be up.
No,
No.
this is it. Well, you see the agri-environmental scheme there, they're trying to come away from ploughing.
They are, but they'll still got to be ploughed if you want it nice, though, I think.
Yeah.
Man, these tractors are making it awful tight now, aren't they, the big tractors? When you think of a big tractor now and a rotator on the front and the drill and the manure spinner all on the back, that awful weight going over drains and tiles and that.
What type of is the Manx style you're in?
Oh, it is the Manx style, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think I get interested in the other ploughing now.
No.
No.
So why would the Manx style be different for the other ploughing?
Well, it was always used handy for the man with the fiddle.
Yeah.
And or sown by hand first. There used to be Lenny Forsyth down in Ballaholly, and he used to come over to Mount Rule to his brother to sow, and he used to get 108.5 in the brat and walk up, and I'd be just harrowing the horses on an angle, and you would come up just as if it was in a corn drill.
Never.
Yes, the drills could hit the grain, hitting each side of the Manx style tops you see and falling down in.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it just makes a nice little bed there for
A
it.
lovely bed for it,
Yeah,
yes.
and then
Yeah.
just tips it over the top,
Yeah,
and just all you need, isn't
That's
it?
all it needed to.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think much to get corn germinated at all.
No. No.
No, ground was only 4 inches deep, was deep enough for anything really. You look at the grain, pull grain up, it's only on the top like.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think eventually the farmers over here, if they don't get back to cattle and stuff on the farms, I think they'll be back to getting nothing out of the ground.
Really?
Oh,
It's changing over the years already?
It's very much so. You go to some farm, a little farm now, and you get barley and a 108.5, and it's no bother to get it in the bag. But you want 2 bags to get it in the farm. There's no fertilised, no cattle manure on it.
I see that in the south of England they're saying the same, like they're
Yeah,
desperate to get the cattle and sheep back on it.
The body's
Farmyard.
worked out of it. The body's all worked out of the ground.
I see.
Yes.
Yeah. No growth in it.
Yeah, I went down to the Craig with Allison's, and the field had been let off all the time, and we ploughed it up because it was all white grass in it, and we reseeded it 2 days. 2 years later, it was all back to white grass again. He said to me, "What's wrong with it?" I said, "It's just short of shit."
Short of the farmyard muck.
It was the farmyard manure, and we done it twice. Never looked back.
Really?
Never looked back.
Yeah.
no.
Well, you've got to feed them, haven't you?
You
And
got to feed the ground. If you're taking out, you got to put in.
this is it. And these modern fertilisers, they're just not cutting it, are they? Seemingly.
Just like me, if I don't get something in me just now, I'll be
Oh
collapsing.
hell!
I want feeding.
You
I
want-
want feeding too.
So gonna carry it on with Emma then?
Well, we might have a new one next year.
Oh.
A little girl wanting to have a go, I think.
Oh, is there?
And
I
a
see.
little boy too.
Oh, well.
Yeah,
Well, that's brilliant. You're passing your knowledge on, Ronnie.
Oh, well, I'm trying to anyway.
Yes.
Oh yes, she's doing well, all right.
Yes. Yeah. No, this
I
is
wouldn't say she's improved an awful lot from the time she was a kid. She was how many years ago with that we started?
Many moons, right?
No, it wasn't many moons. About 10 years, wasn't it?
16.
No, you were 16.
Well,
No,
there-
16 years ago.
Yeah.
Aye.
well, There we
You're
are.
still only a kid.
This is it. Well, she's good though. She's doing a good job.
She's doing a good job. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, anyway, I'll let you get finished.
If she does a good job at this finish, I might give her a cuddle or two.
Oh, look out there now. You're on a promise there, Emma. Behave.
Right.
See you now.
See you.
Well, Steve Ennett, chief man down here today for the Southern Young Farmers Ploughman match. How's it been going?
Not too bad, Kirree. We've got a cracking turnout today. There's 17 plough women and plough men. So yeah, really good turnout. And the weather's with us today as well, which is good.
Because it is always hard to try and encourage people into more the agricultural side of young farmers. There's an awful lot goes on with the concert, the quizzes, a lot for charity. But this side is such a practical side and so needed in agriculture to this day. You know, do the young people come along and try and get involved?
Yeah, they do. There's one or two out today. For the younger generation, and it's needed to keep it going, Kirree. You've just got to keep these young guys coming in. Because, we're not getting any younger, are we?
I was wondering when you were going to mention it. But that said, you're seen as still a young farmer. They can get in touch with you, Stephen, and come and have a go.
Absolutely. Anytime, give us a shout and, come down and have a go. I've got a spare tractor and plough. There's many a tractor and ploughs around, and, don't be afraid of asking.
Well, Dave Corran, the last time I spoke to you was down at Ballaquagan, and it was one of your first goes at ploughing. And here you are, following the plough today.
I am, yes, yeah. I mean, I must admit, I'm still learning to plough myself. But this young fella, Charlie, he showed up a few weeks ago, and yeah, he just showed an interest. And when these young fellas turn up and want to have a go, you've just got to help them out, haven't you?
This is it,
so
absolutely.
I said, Southern Young Farmers, come down and you can have a play, sort of thing.
Well,
and yeah, he's doing all right, yeah.
Well, it looks a good job done, Adam.
He's changing the colour of it, isn't he? So, yeah. So, yeah.
Is he doing any better than you?
Well, I couldn't comment on that, could I? Yeah.
So we'll get a word with Charlie here and see how he's feeling for the day.
All right.
Charlie, I believe this is one of your first goes at ploughing. Dave Corran there, the fella that's helping you, he was only a beginner last year, and now you've got him walking behind you. How have you got involved with this?
Just came down to a few matches, and Dave was like, do you want to have a go ploughing at the Young Farmers? My granddad used to do plough matches, he was quite good at it, so I thought, yeah, why not? I had a crack.
Yeah, and how are you finding it?
Good, yeah. Hopefully keeping my line straight.
And so how did you get involved with tractors or agriculture in general as a young fella?
Well, my granddad was a farmer, so I spent quite a bit of time on the farm with him, and then we moved over here. My mum was like, as plough matches on, went down and watched, and thought, why not, have a crack, keep the young blood coming through, like.
There we go, that was Nicola Rawnsley first with the horse ploughing. Ronnie Fairburn and young Emma Farragher from the north talking about the Manx style ploughing and how things have changed. And Steve Ennett, the organiser from the Southern Young Farmers, and a beginner, Charlie, ably shown by Dave Corran, who was a beginner himself only a couple of years ago. A really great turnout for the Southern Young Farmers ploughing match.
Don't forget then, if you have anything or like to suggest anything or come on to Countryside programme yourself, leave a message here at Manx Radio for Kirree Kermode or myself, Simon Clarke, or you can send an email to countryside@manxradio.com.
And also one last thing from the Manx National Farmers Union. They're doing a survey on sheep worrying here on the Isle of Man. It's based on questions from the National Sheep Association's survey of 2023. And they're just trying to collaborate some of the data together to evaluate the true impact of sheep worrying and attacks on the Isle of Man specifically, and the campaign for stronger measures to protect the farms. So you can find that online at Manx National Farmers Union, or alternatively have a look at the National Sheep Association's website and fill out the survey to help gather the information they need. It can cause so much distress for all involved if an incident does happen, so please just keep your dogs on leads around the farms at this time.
We're back next week with more, so until then, from me, Simon Clarke,
And me, Kirree Kermode.
we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.